Good morning, everyone. Welcome. Nice to see everyone on this Tuesday morning. Welcome to our Mind the Moment's Tuesday morning gathering, brought to you by Harvard Pilgrim Healthcare and Tufts Health Plan. And this is a place where we invite experienced mindfulness instructors to speak with us about what mindfulness means to them and to discuss as a community how we can incorporate these practices into our daily lives. I'm Suzanne Rowe Palacino, and I have with me the favorite face that I love to see on a rainy day, Kell Julliard, instructor with Harvard Pilgrim Healthcare. Good morning, Kell.
Good morning, Suzanne. Good morning, everyone. Great to be with you all as usual.
Yeah,
Rain
so
or
nice.
not, rain or shine, I love being with you and this group.
Yes, we love to have you. So great to see you here this morning. And welcome to everyone. Welcome to the folks that are here regularly, which is so great to have you here. And a special welcome to anyone that's new this morning. And for those that are new, I'll tell you how things will go. We typically start off with a question for the group. So Kell will share something with us. And then he'll share a few thoughts with us and then lead us in a 12-minute guided meditation practice. And we say guided, there'll be some mostly guidance, but also some quiet time. So folks can get comfortable with that mode of meditating. And after that, we'll have some time for questions. So if you go to the bottom of your Zoom screen and open up your chat, and at the bottom of that screen, you have the opportunity to click the drop-down menu at the bottom and choose everyone. And then everybody can see your comments. So with that, again, so glad to have everybody joining. And Cal, what question are you going to start us off with this morning?
So the question I have for you today is, what is one relationship in your life that you find nurturing? One relationship in your life that you find nurturing. And it doesn't have to be limited to human beings.
Yeah, for sure. My
Have
goodness.
relationships with animals and pets and the natural world. And so
Okay.
with our jobs, with our hobbies, it's all sort of relationships really fill our lives. So just to think of one of those in any category that you find nurturing.
Well, I have to say it's for my purposes, it's my best friend. And I think she's joining us here this morning. So I'm so happy to have her here. So yeah, that would definitely be something that would be a very nurturing relationship. And how about you, Cal?
Well, like many people in the chat, it's hard to just narrow it down to one. I've seen
Yeah.
multiple answers, which is great, which is really great. So I guess it's interesting. The choir that I sing in, I have a relationship with the choir itself, just the community of people coming together singing. And out of that relationship have come such close friendships. So this act of singing together, yeah, it's just been the context or the sort of field for individual friendships to emerge. So yeah, so that comes to mind this morning.
Yeah.
Many others.
What a lovely combination of two things that, something that you love to do and having that group. That sounds really lovely. Yeah. So we do have some great comments here. My cats, my husband, dog, and girls. Yeah. My best friend, my children, my husband and my dog, nature, family, and friends. Yeah. Well, nature, that's, it's interesting looking at it that way as well. My niece, my bestie, my daughter. Yeah. I have to add that to mine as well. My girls, my family, just in general, and my dog, who is part of my family, for sure. But yeah, and my hummingbirds. That's nice as well.
I have a bee balm plant in the front yard that's red, that the flowers are red and attract hummingbirds. And I just get such joy whenever they're around.
Yeah.
So this question, I chose it to lead us into self-compassion, not just compassion in general, but self-compassion in particular, because actually scientists and research has found self-compassion to be really important to our well-being, that much more than self-esteem, actually, self-compassion fosters our mental and physical health and actually our resilience, that self-compassionate people are much more resilient. So it's important to cultivate this quality of self-compassion. And yet, for many of us, self-compassion is challenging. So I'm always looking for ways to access self-compassion, to find an easy route to that. So that's what I thought would be a good topic for today, especially with respect to relationships.
Mm.
So I want to pose the question, what is compassion? And just to think for a moment about how that resonates with you. And I've got my own definition, but Suzanne, what comes to mind for you when you think of self-compassion?
Of self-compassion. Yeah. So just an inner care for how life is, for you. And just being gentle to oneself and during the ups and downs of life.
My favorite definition of compassion comes from the neuroscientists. And unlike most scientific definitions, this one is really simple. It's the wish that moves into action to relieve suffering or discomfort or any sort of lack of ease. So it's the wish to alleviate that lack of ease, and it's an active wish. The neuroscientists were surprised that the action areas of the brain lit up when people were experiencing compassion. So it's not something we just kind of idly wish for. It's something that we're kind of willing to spring into action to do something to actually alleviate the discomfort or suffering. So if we think of self-compassion and the challenges we have in life, that we're really willing to be there for ourselves in an active way. And I think, I'd even extend what you said, Suzanne, that sometimes sometimes self-compassion can result in doing things that aren't necessarily comfortable or easy. Like the scientists have found that self-compassionate people are more likely to take responsibility when they've done something wrong, to make it right. That it feels uncomfortable when I realize I've done something wrong. I experience discomfort. And that's a form of suffering. So how do I alleviate that? Well, the best way is by taking responsibility, making it right in some way. So it's self-compassion can take so many forms that are not always easy or comfortable, but they lead us to a place of greater well-being. And I think that's one of the hallmarks. I see there's some wonderful comments in the chat about being kind to yourself like you are to others. And Loretta, that's going to feature into the meditation we do today. So wonderful that you've clued into that. Offering myself grace. I love that. Understanding why I do things even when I would rather not do them, and forgive myself. Yeah, because we all do things that we think, why did I do that? Or why am I going to do that even? And having self-compassion in those moments where we're kind of powerless over our own actions, active listening and acting to relieve pain or stress, and listening to oneself, right? I'm not sure if that's what you meant, Rizvana, but boy, I think what you said factors right into really, really hearing where we're at and being, tuning in to our own needs and feelings. really being there for ourselves, being our own best friend, um, that can really uh, be a part of self-compassion, I think.
Yeah, so true.
Anything else you'd like to add, Suzanne, before we move into our meditation?
No, I really like when we were talking earlier, when you were talking about the window in, and maybe you'll talk about this during the meditation, the window into self-compassion is considering how you can be compassionate with others and how that can be the window into your own self-compassion.
Well, let's get started with our meditation for this morning. So as usual, check in with your posture. You can do this sitting, standing, lying down. You want a comfortably upright spine that enables you to breathe in an easy, natural way, getting lots of oxygen to the brain without stress or tension or holding more than is necessary. So whatever tension you can let go of, just let go of that and find a posture that's centered and well grounded and comfortable. And let's begin by simply resting in awareness. Just in the simplest way, recognizing that we're aware in this moment, that we're alive and aware, and that awareness is actually bigger than its contents. So we can let our thoughts and feelings and sensations come and go. We don't have to block them. Just notice that they move in the space of awareness. And that means simply knowing that you're aware in this moment. Now, I invite you to notice in this moment, just by being here meditating, that compassion is already present. We're here because this benefits our lives. It brings us into a state that's wiser, less reactive, more present. And underlying that is the wish to relieve suffering and discomfort in our lives, so that our meditating here today is actually self-compassion. We don't have to do anything special. Just by being here today, coming into meditation, we're manifesting self-compassion. Now I'm going to invite you to bring to mind a person who likes or loves you. It doesn't have to be the biggest love of your life. It can be a friend, a colleague, an acquaintance even. Just somebody you know that you're pretty confident that they just like you or love you. And perhaps you notice just by bringing them to mind by recalling them vividly, there's a bit of comfort there. There's a warmth that spontaneously emerges. So just bring them vividly to mind. And recognize that this person wants to be happy in whatever way is meaningful to them, and that they want to be free of suffering, of danger, of disease, of free from failure, from loneliness. That this person deeply wishes to be free from suffering. And in this moment, we can extend compassion to them, either by imagining them surrounded by a warm glow of love and safety and, and warmth, of caring. We can also repeat silently or softly to ourselves phrases that embody that. May you be free from discomfort. Directing this to the person you've brought to mind. May you be free from illness. Free from danger. From failure. From loneliness. From deprivation of all kinds. On whichever of these words resonates for you, just repeat that phrase softly or silently in a heartfelt way, wishing that person this kind of freedom. Now consider that this person feels the same about you, that they want you to be free in that same way, free from all forms of suffering. And just experience that wish coming to you from them. They like or love you. Of course, they want you to be free from suffering. And feeling this warmth coming from them, see if that can light up your own care for yourself. Now imagining a warm glow of love and safety and caring surrounding you. And if it's meaningful and works for you, bringing those same phrases to bear. May I be free from suffering, from discomfort, from illness, from danger, from loneliness, from deprivation. Whatever word works for you, just repeating this for couple of minutes softly or silently, encouraging your heart to open to yourself. And now letting go of whatever phrases or images you've been using. Just let your mind rest in awareness itself. In the simplest way, just knowing you're aware and alive in this moment. And as you recognize awareness, recognizing also that self-compassion is automatically, spontaneously present. Without any effort. Okay. That concludes our meditation. Just take a moment to open your eyes gently if they're closed and look around a little bit. Maybe even stretch just a little bit to come back in a good way. And if anyone has any comments or questions or wants to share your experience of that meditation in the chat, please feel free to do so. Suzanne, anything come up for you?
You know, like I mentioned earlier, I really like that way that you accessed the self-compassion through picturing someone else having those feelings towards you. It made it really a lot more accessible. So I really like that that method. It was perfect for today for me.
One of the things about this practice is you can bring this into the flow of your daily life. Often, I do self-compassion practice whenever a challenging emotion comes up, like I'm anxious or annoyed or embarrassed, as opposed to going into ruminating or a cascade of thoughts. I'll just try to hold myself with kindness and imagining what a friend might say to me in that moment. It's like, it's okay, it's not so bad, we love you. Whatever works, using the phrases, using images. I personally find the phrases work really well for me. I thought when I first started doing these compassion practices that they were going to feel really hokey, and they did for about 10 seconds. And then as soon as my heart started to open, it's like, this doesn't feel hokey at all. This feels wonderful. So Yeah, and I see in the comment from Loretta, she loves the phrases, me too.
Yeah. And I love what Sarah's mentioned. I do that a lot, is putting my hand on my heart, because it's just connecting yourself to your the inner feelings of love, and and you can picture a friend putting their hand on your shoulder, or
Both.
yeah, a hug.
We can give ourselves a hug. But I agree with Sarah. Hand on heart is very powerful. And it really, and nobody has to know why you're doing it. You can even do it with other people around. It's just like put your hand on your heart. It doesn't have to be like a big gesture. It can just be very quiet and subtle, but feeling that support for yourself, that caring for yourself can make a really big difference in the moment, in the flow of life.
Mhm. Yeah, and keeping in mind too that as we go through life, we realize a lot of the things that we go through, there's so many other people going through the same thing. It's almost like that just like me practice, that we can allow ourselves to feel what we're feeling. And it's natural. It's natural that many folks have gone through similar things.
I like Loretta's comment about at water aerobics, give yourself a hug because you are wonderful. That I think with self-compassion, it's important to realize that wonderful is not something you have to earn, or that it's about any particular quality that you have. It's about the inherent qualities of who you are that are present all the time. So we all have awareness, compassion, loving kindness, wisdom with us always. That's who we are in our deepest selves. And it's not about our accomplishments or special qualities or that we're smart in a particular way. The wonderfulness is about just the being of who we are in the simplest possible way. And this really cuts through any need to perform or to be something different than we already are. So I think that wonderfulness, recognizing that inherent wonderfulness.
Yes. Well, this was just such a nourishing practice for all of us, as you can tell from the comments. And you do have a gift. So we are so grateful that you've shared it with us this morning, Kell, and sharing this, these lovely reminders that this is accessible for all of us. So
Well,
thank you so much for
it's a
being here.
gift for me to be here and an honor. And I feel very blessed by this group. So thank you, Suzanne, and by you.
Yes. Yes, we're so happy to have you here, and hope to see you again soon with us. And thank you everyone for coming and for your lovely comments. And we'll be back here tomorrow morning at 8:30 as well. So hope to see you tomorrow, and have a good rest of your day.
Thanks, everybody. Be well. Take care now.
Yes, see you soon.